My name is Dr. Lily Hsueh, an assistant professor of public policy and economics at ASU. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sarah Hamersma. Dr. Hamersma is an associate professor of public administration and international affairs at the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs at Syracuse University. She's also the director of Maxwell School's PhD program. As a public and labor economist, Dr. Hamersma's research has focused on health and nutrition programs, examining the consequences of food insecurity, health outcomes, and labor supply. For example, a recent project funded through the WT Grant Foundation examined the effects of the U.S. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, on post-secondary educational investments. Dr. Hamersma received her PhD in economics from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where she was an active member of the Graduate InterVarsity chapter. She currently sits on the board of the Consortium of Christian Study Centers.
I have never found it hard to align the concerns of my research with my faith, since I study the disadvantaged and our public efforts to serve them. While I use a lot of numbers and statistics, I think one can do this thoughtfully without dehumanizing those we study, and even with an attitude of wonder. I recently wrote a bit about this in Comment Magazine in a piece on statistics. But early in my career, I did have to reckon with the tensions that seem to be posed between the lifestyle of an academic scientist and the expected lifestyle of a Christian, especially a Christian mother. For my thoughts today, I want to share something I wrote while on the tenure track as a daily devotional for a group of Christian faculty. I hope that the fruit of my wrestling with this might encourage you. Following Christ and seeking tenure. It is easy to see ways in which the quest for tenure could seem antithetical to the lifestyle and goals of a Christian. Clearly, we know that as Christians, we are to seek the kingdom of God, not a place among the world's intellectual elite. This sometimes means spending time in ways that does not maximize our research productivity. It often means relationships are of greater importance to us than to many others in our line of work. However, I think we sometimes worry too much about the tension between academic excellence and living out our faith. As an assistant professor reflecting on my own place on the tenure track, I have found comfort in seeing the ways in which God's calling to me as a Christian can enhance rather than detract from my work as a researcher. It seems to me that in the context of my academic work, being a Christian means my motives are more distinct than my actual output. For example, my priority as a Christian academic should be to build community and build knowledge, not build a personal empire. But if I truly care about building community and knowledge, I'll be doing what the rest of the world observes as networking. I will likely find collaborators if I'm doing this, and they will in some cases become meaningful relationships in my life, as well as improving the quality of my work. And if I truly care about serving society with my work, then I would want to do work that examines something important, is not redundant, and will be published where it can have some influence. I think my colleagues, Christian and not, would be delighted to see me succeed in such a pursuit. In the end, I believe the motives I try to have as a Christian scholar are often quite consistent with the performance that will be judged by my peers. In doing this work, I will also make dear friends along the way, some of whom I would never meet at church. My colleagues bring insights that we in the church need, both scientifically and in opening our eyes to how Christians need to better represent ourselves in the academy. I can be more relaxed than others on the tenure track, knowing that I'm seeking God's guidance rather than man's approval. And just maybe, by God's grace, I will get tenure. Thanks for letting me share this. While it took a move to another university before I was tenured, I continue to see God working actively in my endeavors on campus and professionally. I pray the same for my Christian colleagues here at the conference.